Captain's Vlog, August 30th, 2016. I wanted to say a few words about Gene Wilder, who sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 83, and I didn't get a chance to make a video yesterday. Of course, the entire internet responded to Gene Wilder's passing, a whole lot of wonderful memorials, both in video and in blog form, a lot of heartfelt Facebook posts, and I probably won't say anything you haven't heard before, but I also wanted to do a little bit of a video tribute to Gene Wilder, an actor who, for a lot of us my age and older, and certainly younger people as well, but grew up with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but also lots of other things. Gene Wilder seemed to crop up in a lot of comedies that I thought were wonderful and funny and strange and unlike anything I had seen before. Things like The Producers, things like Young Frankenstein, and I saw a movie when I was a kid that is not really for kids and that I probably shouldn't have seen, that was on TV. It was called Silver Streak, and that was my first introduction to Richard Pryor. Gene Wilder had a versatility and a comic timing that was unlike anything else. He had a voice that was unlike anybody else's. He had this presence that was undeniable, and he had this manic energy that he brought to everything, but he was able to use that in a variety of different kind of roles, and he has that in common, I think, with Robin Williams and with Jim Carrey. But it's funny because he did a lot of comedies, but I don't think of him as a comedian or as a comic artist first. There was always this like dramatic intensity to him too in every role I saw him in, regardless of whether or not he was playing a comedic part and if the film he was doing was a comedy. His performance in Willy Wonka is so layered. That is a guy who's got so much going on behind his eyes. There's so much passion there. He cares so much about children and about the culture and about things that he's afraid are bad things he thinks are happening to the culture. And it's interesting because a lot of the things that I see in Willy Wonka, as eccentric and over the top and as much as an exaggerated character as he is, I also saw a little bit in Gene Wilder himself. I've always had a lot of respect and admiration for Wilder, not just because of his incredible acting ability, but also because of his integrity and his class about the form, about the art of film and the job of acting. He has this really interesting Q&A and lecture that he did at a college a few years ago that I saw on YouTube not too long ago, and I'll put a link to that in the description, where he talks about why he stopped acting and things that he thinks have kind of gone wrong in Hollywood, and he's very candid and open about this. And some of it is taste, and some of it is a deep moral center for him, where there are lines he simply would not cross. And everybody is going to have a different opinion, and a lot of people aren't going to agree with things that he said in that video. But in that Q&A. But I really appreciate, again, how much integrity and how much like self-respect he had, that at some point he said, I'm just not seeing the kinds of projects that I think I add to in any kind of a worthwhile way, and I don't want to be part of these kinds of films. So I'm not saying that I like Gene Wilder because at some point he became anti-Hollywood, but I really appreciate his philosophy about art and how important it was to him that the pieces that he was involved with added something to the culture and were significant in some way. And of course, he did a lot of comedies and he did a lot of over-the-top things and farcical things, and so he wasn't just about the art house film, but he also didn't want to make movies, so he wasn't a prude about it, but he also didn't want to make movies that were just cash-ins, that were just there to make a buck. He felt a responsibility to his audience to entertain them in a thoughtful way, and not just in a gratuitous, gross-out, vulgar, and cash-in kind of way, in a kind of bucking the trend kind of way. And I always really respected him for that. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, of course, the movie that I think he'll most be remembered for, that a lot of people are talking about this week. This is a movie that I've always meant to review on Rewind United, and I might finally try to get to that sometime in the near future. I love that film. I would go as far as to say that I don't know if I would be exactly the same person without that movie. It's a thing that really captures your imagination. It's a movie that's about imagination and creativity, but I also think that it helped to shape my worldview a little bit in its social and political commentary and satire. It just runs the gambit, that movie, and I think that there's a lot of, even though Gene Wilder didn't write or direct that piece, I think there's a lot of Wilder sensibilities in that movie. It deals a lot with, there's a lot of commentary there about public education and about the responsibility that parents have to their children and what it means to raise children well, and how much of a misbehaved child should be blamed on the parent, but there's also things about corporate greed, and I mean, it runs the gambit. Gene Wilder obviously going to be really sorely missed. Man, this has been a rough year for celebrity deaths. We lost Prince, we lost Bowie, we lost Muhammad Ali. The list goes on, and now one of my favorite actors, Gene Wilder, has passed away. I'm planning on watching some Wilder movies this week, I'm sure, and maybe I'll do a review or two if I find some time and get around to it. And I'm sure lots and lots of other people are doing that. Gene Wilder will not be forgotten. I think generations after mine, people will still be watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and children will still be influenced in wonderfully positive ways by that movie. And anyway, just wanted to say a few things about Gene Wilder. Rest in peace, and you will be sorely missed, but thank you so much for your contribution to film and to the culture, and you will not be forgotten. Thanks a lot for watching, folks. Sure appreciate it. I am Captain Logan, and I'll see you again with more videos very shortly here on Geekvolution.